Boise, Bob Beeler and the Bronco Radio Network.
Drew, congratulations on a good season.
Thank you. Appreciate
What
it.
just was curious as you've looked at film, what impresses you most about Boise State?
Yeah, I mean, I think defensively they're a really sound unit. You don't see many mistakes or, in the run game, like guys in the same gap, not many blown coverages. So I think they're a very sound and disciplined group, and that starts with the coaching staff. They do a great job in getting those guys aligned in the right spots. And I think the biggest thing that sticks out just about the players is how hard they play to the whistle. They're playing through the whistle every single snap there is. So a lot of respect for these guys that they've had a great season. So it's going to be a fun matchup.
Thanks, Bob. We'll go to Mark Brennan, Lines 24/7. Mark.
Hey, Drew, thanks for your time.
Yep, no problem.
What can you tell us about Grunk as a quarterback, and how proactive as a leader in that room have you had to be in terms of making sure he's ready to go? Knock on wood, you don't get banged up, but if he has to go, how proactive have you been in helping him get ready to do what he needs to do?
Yeah, I mean, I think the good thing is I haven't really had to just because that's the way he's wired, and the way he's motivated. Like he's not externally motivated. He's internally motivated just by what he wants to accomplish in his career. And obviously, I think he has a really bright future ahead of him. But as far as a quarterback standpoint, like he can make every throw on the field. Really strong arm, really accurate, and I think he processes really well, especially for being a true freshman in college football. And I think going against, a defense like we do every day since he's been on campus, since, spring ball through fall camp and throughout the season has helped him, grow mentally. And I think he's done a fantastic job since he's, been on campus. But, I think I've started to see him, gain that confidence in himself these last couple weeks and really just knows how to go about his business at the end of the day.
Thank you. We'll go to Michael Porman. Michael.
Thanks. Hi, Drew. Quick question. What's the secret sauce for this team? What makes this team different than anyone you've ever been on, and maybe any of the teams left in playoffs?
I mean, I think overall it's our culture. I think obviously I can't speak on anywhere else just because I've never been anywhere else but Penn State. But the culture we have inside the locker room between players and the whole coaching staff and support staff, I think is second to none. I think that's kind of what makes us different. At the end of the day, like we all have the same goal, and we're all in alignment with each other, which I think it's different now. But I think that's one of our strengths as a program in general is just the culture, and it's been the best experience I could have asked for ever since I've stepped on campus. Like the older guys, taking the young guys under their wings and showing us the ropes, and then when it's our time to be the older guys like we are now, carrying that tradition on, and just helping out the young guys whatever we can with, whether it's with like just managing the school day and like how to be a Penn State football player at the end of the day, or just the X's and O's and them asking us questions and being like a second coach for them that they can just go up and ask questions to. So I think that's the thing that really makes us special, is just how connected we are with one another and just our culture in general.
Thanks, Drew. We'll go to Rich Scarcella. Rich.
Thanks, Scott. Drew, thanks for your time. You've expressed faith all year in the offensive line, but it seems at least the last two games, they've taken it up a notch. What have you seen from the offensive line the last two games?
I mean, I think they're just playing super fast. And we always talk about winning with speed on the perimeter, but I think the offensive line has really, taken that into their own game, winning with speed up front and being physical and, doing whatever they can to, just get the job done at the end of the day. And I think that's a group that takes a tremendous amount of pride in their process throughout the week and the way they prepare. And then, it shows on Saturdays with the way they play. And, there's nobody else I'd rather have, up in front of me, blocking for me and protecting for me than those guys. I think Coach Trout does a phenomenal job with getting them prepared and just prepping them for different blitzes and stunts that they're going to see throughout the week. and they do a great job of just executing and studying the game plan. So we always talk about it like we go as the O line goes, just because when they're giving me time, it gives me time to go through my progressions and get the ball to our playmakers in space, and then when they're blocking really well in the run game, obviously it's just giving Nick and Katron a head of steam, and not getting touched to the second, third level, and that's when they're at their best too. So they've done a great job throughout this year, and it's been fun to see their evolution too, just because obviously a little bit of a younger O-line in terms of experience, but I think they've done a great job throughout this whole year in general.
Thanks, Drew. We'll move on to Audrey.
Hey Drew, thanks for your time. I'm wondering kind of what did those moments late at USC and on the road at Minnesota, those clutch kind of game, potentially season-defining moments, what did they mean to you, and did those moments like teach or reinforce anything for you guys as an offense?
I mean, I think at the end of the day, that's why you play football, and that's why you come to a place like Penn State to play in games like that and have opportunities like that. And it's obviously it's what we work for our off season, like our 2 minute stuff that we put in day one or day two of spring is the stuff we're running at the end of these games. And I think we're just doing a great job of going out and executing and not letting the moment take advantage of us. We're staying present in that moment and just taking it one play at a time, whatever the situation is. And I think, one thing that has helped us a lot is just how situation or how aware we are of the situation in general. And I think that starts with Coach Franklin with the different 2 minute drills throughout the year that we do. And then us, as players just communicating with each other, in and out of the huddle of what the situation is, how much time we have left, if we have any timeouts, or what do we need in that situation, if it's a field goal, touchdown, or just points in general. And I think we do a great job of, being on the same page with communication, because at the end of the day that it could be hectic and chaotic, but if you're on the same page, you'll get the job done. It's when you aren't on the same page, when things don't go right, and that sort of thing. So I think we do a great job of just talking about it at length, so when those situations do happen, we're just going out there and playing.
Thanks, Drew. We'll move on to Tyler Donahue from Lions 24/7.
Thank you, Drew. This is a longer season than you've ever encountered at this level, and you've had a bunch of opportunities to do some self-evaluation, I'd imagine, with some of the gaps in between these postseason games. Not just, I know there's been a lot of comparison to who you were as a sophomore, but when you look back at who you maybe were coming out of August, entering this season, where do you feel like you've made the most important steps forward that can help put this team in position to win more ball games moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, I think just my confidence in general, and the way I prepare, and I would just say that goes along with leadership at the end of the day. So I feel like that's where the most steps I've taken, like off the field, are kind of mentally. But as far as physically, I think Coach K does a great job of preparing all of us throughout the week for the reps that we're going to get in the game, and the looks that we're expecting, and just taking those as game-like as possible throughout the week. So when the game comes, like, it's second nature for me at that point, and I've made that throw over and over, and I know what to expect. The receivers know how I'm going to throw it, and I know how they're going to run their route. So I think really it goes into the preparation and our process that we put in throughout the week that has helped a ton, because obviously it's Coach K's first year here, and first year with him. So I think our confidence and just relationship has grown a lot from that. Just me telling him what I need throughout the week in practice and what rep plays I want to get and why, and then he's just trying to mix those in as much as he can based on the practice trail that we have for that day.
Thanks, Drew. We'll move on to Mark Wogenrich.
Hey, Drew, you've talked a lot about preparation. How did you prepare the last couple of days? What has your schedule been like? Are you still keeping, I mean, did you still keep the 6:30 wake up call to watch film? How much Boise State film have you watched? Did you even get to go home? Did you give yourself a break since Saturday?
Yeah, I mean Saturday, so it was a little bit different schedule for us. Sunday was earlier morning meeting so we can go home. So I mean I started watching Boise like Sunday morning. And then I went home, I drove home, only like a 3.5 hour drive, but and then I started watching them again towards the end of the day after I got home. But like Monday, I watched a little bit in the morning and then kind of chilled out the rest of the day, spent time with family. And then Tuesday, same thing. I watched probably like an hour or two in the morning. And then obviously yesterday we came back and then we had practice. So I watched them naturally just with the meetings that we had scheduled. And then, I mean, today I was in here pretty early again. I think it was like 6 or something like that. So I was in here early because we had a lift today. But, I mean, I gave myself time off, but at the end of the day, like I love playing ball and watching ball in general. So, for me, it's kind of enjoyment as much as that might be weird to say. Like I enjoy watching film, and so when I'm home, like I'm always watching it anyways. So it's kind of part of my routine now.
All right, we'll go with Andrew Clay. Andrew.
Real quick, first on the Maison des Champions shirt. Did you do that? That's a leadership camp. Did you do that, or is that just a shirt?
I got it for Christmas. My mom got it for
Okay,
Christmas.
so it's just a shirt, no problem. My
Yeah.
question, it's a leadership camp for athletes, so that's why I didn't know if you did it. My question for you is how different is bowl prep this year for the postseason different than it was for the Peach Bowl?
I mean, I think it just starts with like your the window was shorter this year than it was last year. And obviously, last year we had an extended time to, prepare for the Peach Bowl, but this year it was kind of like a quicker turnaround just with the Big Ten championship and then playing like 2 weeks later. So, it's a little bit just shorter in general, but at the end of the day, like our process, like I love that we're a process oriented team and, our process drives the way we function as a program. So for us, it wasn't really anything different, which I like just because it's our normal routine and habits and things like that. So, it wasn't much different for me personally, but it was just probably just a little bit of a quicker turnaround than it was compared to last year.
Right, we'll do one more for Drew, and then we'll move on to Tyler Warren. Daniel.
Thanks for your time this morning, Drew. We've heard Andy and James both talk about the idea of playing to win as opposed to playing not to lose. I was just curious, how does that come through on the day to day? And kind of when did you guys start really hearing that message? And what does that do for you guys as players to hear that from your coaches?
Yeah, I mean, I think offensively, we definitely talked about it before the season. I don't know if we talked about it in the spring or not, but we for sure talked about it in fall camp. And for me, I think it's just our mindset at the end of the day. Like we're going out there to play to win and not playing scared or anything like that. Like just sticking to your guns and letting it go when you see it. Playing with speed and winning with speed, winning your one-on-ones, and it kind of all correlates itself into just playing to win. It starts with obviously like Coach K, calling the game like that, but then it's on us as players to go out and execute those play calls that he does call, and then it's also our job to put him in those situations to call the plays that we want or our shot plays that we want to get called. It's our job as players to go out and put us in situations where Coach K has the freedom to call those sorts of plays. So I love it. I think it's the right mentality to have as an offense, and I think it's a part of the reason why we've been successful this year on offense so far.
Fantastic. Drew, thank you for your time this morning. Congratulations on the season you've had and look forward to getting you here down to Arizona in a few quick days.
Thank you. Appreciate it.